Welcome everyone to This is a Revolution, your weekly RevPro podcast, hosted here by my good self, George, and as always, my good friend, Mr. Dave the Mark. Dave, sir, how are we?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm not liking these dark nights anymore. So the wife works in the office before I come to do the podcast, and she was like, "I put your sheet up." I think I might have mentioned it on the pod before that I've got like blackout lining from blackout curtains. I've just made curtains out of it. And I was like, I'm not sure there's really any point now because it's so dark
Yeah,
outside. So yeah, that's the time of
I'm
year
out
right now, mate.
I'm out of Isaac's bedroom and back in the renovated podcast room. That is our I don't even know what this room is, to be honest. Snug. I think we'll call it a snug. It's kind of like it's like our second living room, which again makes it sound really big when it's not because we don't have a dining room. So sometimes this is a dining room. Sometimes it's a snug. Sometimes it's a hiding space from the kids. It's whatever it needs to be.
The
But
utility
yeah,
room,
so
then.
I've got there's in front of me here is just a couple of meters of glass, and it is just pitch black outside. And
Oh, yeah.
looks cold and grim, and I'm nice and warm and toasty in here. So
Yeah,
all
I'm with,
good.
I'm with you, mate. Yeah, I don't have to go out tonight. Luckily, my wife. So for the last few weeks, I've had to walk her around to the leisure centre where she goes to play badminton because she's not had a lift the last few weeks. And I don't let her walk around. It's only about a 5 minute walk, but I don't like her walking around.
It's a
So
bit boring, my friend. It's not dead yet.
yeah, exactly. So but luckily she got a lift tonight, and I'm like so glad because I cannot be asked going outside when I don't need to. I've already got to get up at 4:30 tomorrow to hit the gym on the way to work. So
Mate,
yeah, so the idea of not going out
that is
tonight is so
dedication.
much better, mate. It's a dedication.
Well, I'm speaking of 4:30. I think I'm feeling the last of the effects of my first ever day on a professional wrestling taping that I
Oh
did
yeah,
last Thursday
yeah,
with Spinebuster Media and Spinebuster Underground. Um,
love it.
I'd love to be able to tell all the stories, but because it's obviously a pre-recorded taping, I shall keep stum on who we were filming and the matches we were filming. But just like the whole kind of day of being on a wrestling set
Yeah,
was so cool. Like,
I only know one person that was there because they posted something on Instagram, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a young female wrestler who she goes to the company around the corner from me. I think she's going to be a big name in the future.
Yeah, like I got up at 3:30 in the morning. I left the house at about 5:15, and I got back to the house at 3:30 the next day. So it was a full from getting out of bed to getting back into bed, a full 24-hour day.
Mm.
We filmed 15 matches, probably 10 promos, and similar amount of like photo shoots, and it was so cool, mate. It was so cool, like getting to see properly, fully
Mm.
behind the curtain
Yeah,
from two people learning that they're going to be wrestling each other to putting their match together
yeah,
to them talking me through their match because I'm filming it and so I can try and get the right angles for the
yeah.
right moments all the way through to afterwards it being like just seeing sort of like the chill out afterwards.
Yeah.
So cool.
I
Absolutely
bet.
loved it. Got a little bit of a taste for it in the sense I was like,
Mm.
this looks like fun. And I love the fact that at the end of it, Andy, who runs Spinebuster, was just like, fancy coming along to the next one? I was like, yes, I do.
Nice.
Yes,
What
please.
what is it you? So I think I posted something on Twitter right a few months ago, maybe even a month ago, that saying the two biggest obsessions I've had in my adult life, like so far, have been music. I Download Festival and RevPro, both booked by a guy called Andy.
Yeah,
You,
yeah,
your two wrestling things, both a guy called Andy.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this was one of those random little coincidences.
Yeah,
Um,
Well, in something that is definitely not a random coincidence, in 2 months this is being rebranded to Bustin' Spines, the Spine Buster Media podcast. Um, yeah, imagine the balls in your court, Quilden. Anyway, speaking of Quilden, put on a good show yesterday, didn't he?
Mate, hell of a show. Absolute hell of a show.
Right.
Genuinely, I don't want to be accused of recency bias, but I think that was the show of the year for me.
So I would certainly go as far as saying best regional show of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Funnily enough, the one that probably gives it its biggest run for the money is last week's show in Leon. Like,
yeah,
the three that stand out for me, there was a Sheffield show. I can't even remember when it was. A few months ago.
Must be with Jay and Shah on it.
Yeah, so it had Jay and Trent. It had Liam Slater and Michael Oku, amongst other things. But they were the two standout matches. Just the whole show just had this really, really good flow from start to finish.
Yeah.
Leon last week, I think, was the best show this year in terms of it delivered 3 knockout matches.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're talking top level matches, this show for me didn't necessarily it had 1 knockout match, but what it also had, whereas like the in-ring overall was really consistent and really good, but it just had so much going on. There was so many storyline extensions, and I really enjoyed every element of it. And there was some subversions of expectations which were really enjoyable, because when you pay as much attention to it as a lot of us do, you kind of feel like you know everything that's going to happen before it happens. But when that's played with, you feel like it feels good to be played, because you get that kind of like the original feeling of being surprised by wrestling.
Yeah, that's it.
Just absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it, and like what another success of Portchester Hall was. Like, it was rammed again yesterday.
Yeah,
I'd love to know. I don't know because obviously like it's just Andy let slip on the last Portchester Hall show that it was the biggest live in London that ever had crowd wise.
Yeah,
I'd love to know how this one compared, because there were even more seats added this time that weren't there last time.
Okay.
So the where the wrestlers come out of the entranceway, and then they walk down, and they walk past where I sit.
Mm-hmm.
There were extra seats on the end of those rows,
right?
So sort of like closer to the wall on both wing. And you're probably only talking about maybe an extra 24 seats, like a dozen on each side. But it's literally every fan counts, right? And it's one fan at a time. So yeah, that was really, really cool to see, and just a really satisfying show, mate.
Yeah, I mean that was it. It's like, and it's good to see that they're putting those extra seats. I mean, look, that's about 700 quid if they fill those seats, right? That's not chump change, right? That's a good amount that they're getting back there. I kind of likened it, and the best way possible, like WWF TV wrestling, like the episodes of like the Attitude Era that stick out to me the most are the ones where you start off with a storyline thread. Okay, and it's something like AEW subverted for a long time. Like they would always start off with a match, but I like that near the start of the show we had a match and we had a moment, right? So you're giving us 2 things. You're giving us that through line. Okay, so the story that was able to be told from across multiple matches, and you didn't realize at the time, and I liked it. So are you familiar with the phrase Chekhov's gun? If I talk about that in terms of storytelling.
You've used it before and you've explained it to me. Can you give me one more go?
Yeah, so basically it's the theory that in storytelling, if you introduce a gun in the first act, by the end of the third act it should be used, right? So it plays a pivotal part, it's going to be fired. So like
the classic wrestling one would be a table has been set up, it's not been used yet, but someone's going to go through it at some point.
And in this case, it was Jay and Shah are set for a showdown because Shah's saying, if you don't do this, you will get the title shot. So to me, it was like, right, well, how is Jay going to be involved in that main event? Right. And it's not telegraphing something that should be a surprise, right? Because this is storytelling done well. They're going, hey, if you don't do this, this is going to happen. And then the way that they then subverted the expectation of where even I thought it was going to go to get to where they got to was fantastic. It was, yeah. I mean, look, shall we just kick off with the show closing stuff? Because I think this is the bit that everyone is really chomping at the bit to discuss.
Well, I think we could probably, if we could talk about the two bookends in one go, couldn't we? From everything from Jay and Alan Angels to the final closing segment, because like you say, it was a thread that ran all the way through the show, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Jay and Alan Angels, I thought was great. Alan Angels has been such a to some people would be a bit of a revelation, because when my experience of Alan Angels has been good wrestler on AEW, but he was in a sea of good wrestlers, and he was maybe a bit overshadowed in the charisma department because, as we've said, what is needed for TV wrestling is different to what's needed for independent sometimes. But I've not seen much of him since he's left AEW, but he's certainly a man that has found himself and how to carry himself, and he can go in the ring as well. So, yeah, I thought he's great.
I remember watching the Kenny Omega match on AEW Dark, and all the kerfuffle that came out with it, because it was quite controversial, wasn't it? Like Kenny Omega going 6 minutes with someone who was being seen as a...
Of course, yeah.
But it was like the guy is like blisteringly quick in the ring, technically really, really accomplished. He's got so much character and presence to him. He is like the complete package. The problem is what he was packaged as in AEW isn't the package we're seeing now, because he was in a heel stable that very quickly found that it needed to turn face after, the passing of Brody Lee and the need to pivot the storyline. I found myself kind of just gawping at him yesterday, because I knew he was good and I was really looking forward to seeing him. I didn't realize how good he was until I saw it up close and personal, and I loved the whole presentation. Jay, I don't know how well it came across on the stream, mate, but Jay is the chosen one. Portchester Hall just made it, they made it so clear. This is our guy. Let's make sure all management know this is the one we want to be champion. They made that so clear yesterday. Another great match from Jay. It's almost like you're a bit numb to it now. It's just Jay Joshua match, that's going to bang.
Absolutely.
Really enjoyed it. And it was quite a long opening match, but I didn't feel like it was in any way longer than it should have been. It felt perfect. And it was followed up by a shorter match, which I thought complemented it quite nicely. And I really enjoyed the showdown between Jay and Shah afterwards. I'm very excited for Shah leaning into the boos and leaning into the fact that the fans aren't supporting him, and it being, because it's hard, because it's everything about Shah yesterday was the underdog babyface performance. The way he wrestled the main event, the way that he got attacked and outnumbered at the end. But the way he just struts around is just I don't give a shit if you cheer me or boo me. At the end of the day, I'm the champion. I've been doing this a long time. I've seen a lot of wrestling fans come and go. I'm a big boy and I've got thick skin and I can live with it. And I really like that side of him. It's like a proper tweener kind of side where they're not abandoning the story, but they're also showing that people aren't going to get to him.
Yeah, exactly. I loved as well that I don't know how much of it was, I imagine it was all planned this way, or if it rather than just happening, but he came out black coat on, black and white scarf as well. So it's even
Interesting.
removing those pops of color, like just like you could literally say those are shades of grey, like
Yeah.
quite literally, like, and
And
that
he was booed, like
he was
properly booed when he came out. It
one of
wasn't
my,
just a little bit of
yeah.
negativity. It was, we're booing you because storyline tells us we should boo you because you cheated to keep the championship.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite tweets I saw yesterday was the only guy from London in the tag match, and he's the one that's getting the most boos, and it works, right? And this is, I think, when Shah's reign started, I think I said to you that if he keeps it for a prolonged period of time, this is the way to go with it, like, because you will get to a stage where people will probably be looking for who's next, right? Because they understand that Shah's probably not going to be the top guy for a long time. So it's who is next? And I mean,
He's
I
not
said
the
it
future of the company, is he?
exactly.
At
Yeah,
40 years old.
this is the one final run to pass it on to someone, and that's why if you're going to do something like this, you either use it to do something completely shocking, which we're past that point now because he's had it too long, and that sounds really. I don't mean that like in a negative way because he's had it what two and a half months, but
If he'd won it and then literally lost it the next week, that would have been shocking, wouldn't
shocking
it?
something like that. Yeah, a moment like that to go, oh my god, like that would have been shocking, but we're past that moment of shocking now. He's had it a couple of months, so let's do something interesting with it. And I said on here a couple of weeks ago that Jay Joshua for me is the Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, late 90s, early 2000s, like that person that the crowd is telling you, no, this is our guy, like this is it, like. And
Undeniable, isn't he?
yeah, he is absolutely undeniable. And look, he's been in Rev Pro what for not even a year and a half at this point. Like getting about a year and 4 months. So yeah, cutting hairs there slightly.
By the
But
time we get to Uprise, and it'll be a year and a half, won't it?
and I would say that I've never seen, and this is Desire included in here. I don't think I've seen the level of support of this is our guy quite as much. Like,
No,
and
I would agree with that. Zazai was a different type of support.
yeah,
It was, and also like Zazai's character, the way he conducts himself, everything about him, from running around like a hyperactive 15-year-old to like the literally bouncing into the crowd, and the way that he wrestled, he was always fighting from underneath, and he was a proper get behind him babyface.
mm-hmm.
Whereas Jay has had all this groundswell of support in spite of the fact that he's mostly been presented to us as a heel. And then that became like, it kind of had to become a tweener because of the fact that there was so much support for him and Mills, but they were still wrestling a heel style. They were still going up against baby faces. They were still being dominant and violent and aggressive. So I would completely agree, mate. Yeah, I think this is the biggest like groundswell of support we've seen.
Yeah, Andy refers to it on commentary quite a lot as that despite the bad things Jay does and the aggression, that the fans are appreciative of what he does in the ring, and that's how he gets that across. And I've always kind of seen Mills and Jay as somewhere like your anti-heroes in a way that they're not going to stop. And I see Young Guns. I see them both very similar sides of a coin. That they're both like whoever they're up against and whatever they're doing is where they are. And I would say that Jay and Mills sometimes go that bit extra than maybe Young Guns do, and that is even with Ethan Allen there. But so let's talk. I mean, look, the closing angle of the show that we're talking about here, right? So obviously the match happens. Kuro and Shah wrestle a very good match against Young Guns. They had a match to follow. Crowd chanting follow that, and we will touch on that next, I'm sure. But
I thought they did a really good job of following it, though.
Like, yeah, they did. Yeah, they're never going to be able to top it.
Given how the show ended, they couldn't. It couldn't have been the other way around. They couldn't have gone on first and left the match of the night to headline because of the closing angle.
Yeah, and I think it was the right way to do it because you know that the match, no matter how good these guys are, the match just isn't going to live up to that, right? Like what it's ended up being, and that's fine. Like the main event doesn't always need to be like the best match, but like we said, when you got that angle to close it with, that was just as hot as what that was the angle equivalent of that.
The fact that we're opening the podcast by talking about the biggest takeaway of last night's show being from the main event tells us the main event really delivered, even if it's a case of the match and the angle together combined.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you see it coming at all?
So if you're asking me, did I see it coming in terms of what I was expecting? No. But if you're asking, so when I'm watching, so I'll tell you how it came across on screen, because I'm not sure how much you could see in there. So Jay's coming out, and it was very clear that there was someone behind him very quickly early on. And then, so you kind of made out size-wise that it looked like it could be Leon. But I was expecting Jay to come out and just leather Shah, and that's how we then set up this match in Cardiff.
Yeah, me too.
But when I was like, oh, okay, like there's someone there. And I thought, well, who's it? Like Leon felt like size profile wise. So I wasn't expecting what happened to happen. Not in the slightest. It was a really nice surprise. I think I posted yesterday on Twitter. I said about Chekhov's gun, and a certain someone just replied, "Give me the eyes emoji," and I'm like, "Oh, all right, let's see what's happening here." And then that moment. So as soon as I saw someone else, like this is gonna be bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Like this is gonna be something good. The attack was great. I'm going to take my first victory lap of the night on this angle as well, albeit a couple of months delayed. So obviously the attack came in, and I found it really interesting because I think it was Liam Slater walked out holding a trophy, and I was like, interesting. So they are doing the trophies this year. I mean, we still have one with CPF.
Still got one with Joe Lando.
And I think this is in the politest of ways. I think this is just booking fudging because they can. Like they've already set precedent for it happening. They didn't necessarily say they were going to do it this time. This just feels like a good way to do it, right? Like just why not? Like you've got it there. So yeah, I
feel like it's probably going to be a case of, well, if we're going to do this, we will have a bit more of a plan as to how they're going to use the trophies next time, and we'll probably have them use the trophies a little bit earlier, so it isn't like just hanging around like CPF held theirs seemingly forever before they used them.
Yeah.
Although I will say, CPF coming out holding their trophies every show made CPF seem like a bigger deal than they had before.
Yeah.
So it worked in that sense, but Young Guns and Leon don't need that.
They don't need that. No, you're right.
They've got between them the TNA X Division Championship and the Undisputed British Tag Team Championship. So an extra trophy just makes them look pretty cladded in gold, but
exactly.
Not
so I thought it was a really great moment. And again, let's go back slightly to the match between Slater Dojo, right, and what was going on there, because that had a lot going on as well. So we obviously saw Kid Lycos 2 come out. Lycos was out there. Like there's a lot going on. So we go back to the main event angle, and you've got just the beatdown that's happening. I found it hilarious. I mean, the one bit that kind of took me out slightly was Jay was trying to get in the ring, and it was Cam that was holding him back. Like I was just like,
you know what I really liked though. Do you remember we got asked on a Q&A a couple of months ago? Was did Cameron Kai maximise his minutes at the anniversary show, seconding? And I kind of said it through kind of as honestly and as objectively as I could that I didn't feel like he did. I thought he really, really did it this week. Really, really well. Everything that he did as a second worked. And what I liked was when he was like holding Jay back, I don't know if the camera ever picked up on it, 'cause the camera must have been focusing on the main stuff in the ring. But every so often, he'd just lump him a few times.
Didn't see that at
So
all.
he was like holding him back, and then every so often just banging him in the back of the head and on the back, and it was like
That makes more sense.
It was really, really good, because no one should be watching Jay and Cam at this moment, but they're still playing the part perfectly, and it's, you know, you'd be forgiven for just being like, okay, we're just going to hold here because everyone's focusing on that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I really liked it. I thought that all the looks between Liam and Cameron in the Slater Dojo match were really, really good as well. So
yeah,
hopefully Cam's finding a really good place for him here.
It feels like it, and I am the sort of person that will pick up on stuff like that not happening, because my mind will go, pure story, it will go, am I to believe that Cameron Kai is strong enough to hold back Jay Joshua in a rage? Okay? Yes, it's Jay Joshua who's been in the hard match, but am I to believe that he can do that? So, and that's what it looked like to me, that he was hard. I was like, that felt a little bit like unrealistic. But like you said, if there's the hammer throws going into the back of the head, that makes it completely, because it doesn't matter who you are, you're taking shots to the back of the neck, the head, like, it's going to hurt you, it's going to do some damage, right? So cool, excellent, love to hear that. Victory lap 1 comes. Harry. I know that it was one of those things that was suggested a couple of months ago, and I said it could happen. I was like, I could see it happening, and it happened. But it wasn't done in a contrived way either.
No. Didn't spend too long umming and ahhing about what to do.
No. One of the things that I suggested this time last year, actually, when we did a pod, was, I think it was the What Next. Remember that one we did? And I said, I reckon a heel Michael Oku being the front man for a group of younger / overlooked talent, which at the time I did say having
you said Nino and Harry, I believe.
No. So at the time I said
Cameron. No, it was Cameron. Yeah, you're right.
Cameron, Leon, Slater, because at the time he wasn't positioned as highly as he is now. Cameron, Leon, and Mills at the time were my threes. So I was like, it's quite cool. Like, I can see how this sort of thing can work, right? That you give these guys a focal point. So in that role, you've got Leon as the focal point, but you've also got Liam as he's your second in command, your lieutenant. Yes, he's the coach, but he's the second in command, who's there he is the leader of the dojo, but he's not, right? He's not the face of it, but he's the one that
when you've got when there's like somebody in a position of significant power, and they normally have their right hand man.
Yep.
And often history looks back on those relationships and realizes that the right hand man was the genius. The right hand man was the person doing everything, but the right hand man couldn't be the face of the political party or the face of whatever type of group it was. And it's like, Leon is the star. Leon is what buys people tickets. Leon is what brings everybody to support the Slater Dojo.
Yeah.
But Liam is orchestrating all of it, the little puppet master.
And he's the thread that keeps it on through. So do I think that we could see Lycos 2 joining soon? Yes, I do. My theory for that has been, since that's popped up, this is where Lycos 2 unmasks. And
yeah, I've been wondering that.
Yeah, because I know.
Does he want to, like, does Lycos 2 want to be a masked wrestler for the rest of his wrestling career?
Yeah, because
at some point, does he want the Kid Lycos moment? Is this a way of getting there?
I think if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, I could be recalling this wrong, but I think from what I remember, the idea at the time was Lycos has retired and Kid Lycos was a very good young wrestler, and the idea was to gift him the gimmick to help give him that something to hang his hat on a bit more and obviously get over with people, something recognisable. And I think we're at the stage now where if he unmasks, everyone is aware of who he is and what he can do, right?
Yeah.
So you know what, I'd be interested to see. But if it means more Lycos 2 and Rev Pro, I'm here for it. I really like what they did.
I love the Lycos boys so much.
Yeah.
And yesterday was so the two times that I've seen them live that I've enjoyed the most are yesterday and when they wrestled against each other at the British Straight Cup,
Yeah.
last year's British Straight Cup. And what I realised, I was driving home yesterday and I was thinking about it. I've always seen Lycos as presented as heels in Rev Pro. So from wrestling Sunshine Machine and St. Neots in 2022 to like all the way up to now, they're always presented as shitwolves, cowards, sneaky little villains. And it's as baby faces that I enjoy their work so much more. But I've always enjoyed them. I've always thought they're good fun and they're good crack, but they're so much more than that, and they get to demonstrate as baby faces, which they did when they wrestled one-on-one. Because although Lycos took on the aggressive mentors role,
Yeah.
it ended with hugs and handshakes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday they were very much like the baby faces in the match with Gallows and Anderson, even though Gallows and Anderson worked it well as well. And although Lycos was, again, the aggressive mentor, he's still very, very likable because it's like, okay, he's frustrated and, yeah, he's being harsh to Lycos too, but it's the same as when JJ Gal would do it to Francisco and you were like, all it does is make you feel sorry for Francisco. It doesn't make you dislike JJ Gal. So yesterday, you're feeling sorry for Lycos too, but you're not disliking Lycos. Whilst we've been recording this, Andy's confirmed that Lycos is wrestling Liam Slater this Sunday in Sheffield. So I feel we'll get in another extension of that story. I would absolutely love babyface Kid Lycos and Lycos 2 to form the join the Slater dojo. So we have solo Lycos that I've barely ever seen as a Rev Pro fan, and Lycos 2 in this new role, maybe without the mask, and the Slater dojo. Like, it's still very up in the air as to how we play them. Right? They could be an out and out heel dynamic, or they can toe the line between them because it's very, very hard to boo Leon Slater. Liam Slater has this really, really good sense of humor and likability to him, even though he should be like a smarmy, smug git. Like, he balances it really well. Cam's like one of our own. Like, we've watched the lad from like a teenager, so you want to root for him. Harry's obviously one of our own, like, so you want to root for him. So yeah, I'm really, really, really interested in it, and I like the fact that I don't know the answers. And it'll be one of those times when, you know, I get this all the time. People will be like, "What do you think? Like, what do you want to happen?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. Like, I trust that it's going to be good whichever way they go, and I'm going to just enjoy it.
I think that's key. There is that. And this is what we're trained to do, right? And I think people have said this at the time. People said to me following this show yesterday, they said, this is the most exciting that Rev Pro booking has felt to them since the last anniversary show, right? So,
I think that's very fair.
And I think that is fair. I would agree. But what we are shown with storytelling, whether or not the storytelling is what you like or enjoy personally, you're shown that things matter. So I'm the sort of person that I will go down there. I would love for this to happen. I want this to happen. I want this to happen. But then, as we said, I will also go down the route again. Yeah, but I also want this to happen. I want this to happen. I want to see or have all these possibilities. And the fun thing is discussing all the possibilities, right? That's pretty much why we have this podcast, because we just wanted to talk about all the different possibilities. The possibility
we basically have a phone call where we get to mark out, and we just happen to record it.
Exactly, mate. But the thing that I always thought with this group was, I don't see Kid Lycos joining, because in my mind he's too old. So I was just like, and that sounds like a really weird thing to say, but I just went and looked it up. The dude is younger than I thought. He's 28.
Yeah.
He's been around forever, to the degree that I just thought he must have been like 31, 32 by now, which isn't a huge gap between those two ages, of course, but just genuinely surprised by that. But yeah, I don't know. This is one of those storylines. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't have a particular like. I think it's going to go here. I think it's going to go there. But I don't mind that because I didn't think it was going to go where it went in the main event angle, which we can circle back round to now, because that all happened. Harry did what Harry did. That was
good chair shot.
What we did is we took a comedy angle that had to pivot because of Shah. We turned it off in the nice way possible. And this is what I said to you back at the time. I was like, I could see the heel turn potentially because Shah just abandoned him. Okay. Yeah. And look, that at the time could have been me reading into it a lot because it's just like, no, we just needed to find a way to get to where we got to. Probably half dozen one, 6 dozen of the other. But you get to where you get to. I love the execution because there wasn't a huge amount of time in it. But what I liked is Liam just went, I gave him the nod, and he did it.
Yeah.
Right? There was no fucking around. It was done. And that I thought that was great. And you still had your little bit of comedy there because you had Cameron carrying him over his shoulder and out.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was comedic effect in a way that Harry does.
Harry got absolutely murked, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, destroyed in an instant. And it's like, and I always think, like, I'm a big stables guy. Always have been. All the way back to, like, DX and the Nation when I was a teenager. But you've got to everyone's got to have their role.
Yeah,
within it, and I thought that the Inner Circle for the first year of AEW, the Inner Circle was pretty much perfect. With Jericho as the veteran main event leader, Hager as this big heater. You had the tag team that were different because they were brawling, tough as nails, nasty. Like street thugs, and then Sammy Guevara, the absolute weaselly dickhead. I want to punch him in the face, like in all the good ways possible.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like the heel full guy, and like Harry would be effectively that can be like the Sammy Guevara of this group, but in a different way, in the sense that you'd feel sorry for Harry.
Yeah.
Because I don't see the Slater Dojo being the Inner Circle in the sense that the Inner Circle were the heels of all heels in AEW. I've just realised, mate, we're like talking about this. Every single one of the 8 matches yesterday fed into an ongoing storyline.
Yeah. So
like we've talked about what's happening with Shah and Jay and Leon and the Slater Dojo. So we've effectively covered the opening match, the main event, and Liam versus Leon.
Yeah, the 4th
and
match.
Lycos Jim versus Gallows and Anderson. So you've got half the card was taken up with this.
Yeah.
And then we'll come to everything with the Cutthroat Collective, which was another 2 matches. We'll come to RKJ, JJ Gal, David Francisco, El Capitan, and everything like within that as well. It's just, there was so much cool stuff going on. I want to put over once again Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, who are well within their rights to, and I mean this in no way disrespectfully at all, but to come over and do the Naito and Bushi job of, we're going to come over, we're going to sell some merch, we're going to give the fans our entrance that they all love. We're gonna go through the hits. Naito's gonna do a Destino, and Bushi's gonna run around like a headless chicken, like doing all the stuff that Naito's legs won't let him do anymore. And everyone gets to go away saying, "I got to see Naito and Bushi." But they're not doing that. They're coming in and they're having like really good matches, like work rate matches. They're having matches that put the other team over as much as their. Although we knew they were going to win yesterday, storyline wise, it wasn't a short match in any way. It wasn't a dominant match.
No.
And then you get all the, I fucking love Gallows and Anderson's theme tune. I'm literally sitting there singing along to it when they come out. fell in love with it during their TNA run. You get the Good Brothers just too sweet in everybody and them on merch afterwards. So you get all that stuff, but you also get a banger of a match.
Yeah.
Like if it is going to be them and Young Guns at Uprising, I'm well up for that match.
Yeah. And I think that's where we'll go with it. Yeah.
You know, or if Jay and Mills win on Sunday, them and Good Brothers or whatever it's going to be, but I think we're both of the feeling that it will be Young Guns and Good Brothers. Really, really keen. And the Liam and Leon match was really, it was like a real pleasure to watch because they're so good.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously they work each other in training a lot, and in the he's literally Liam has trained Leon, so they've done so much stuff together.
Yeah,
that was really cool. But I wasn't expecting the kind of story of the match that we got. I thought, do you remember? I don't know if you will remember because it was such a random match, but 2 years ago, I want to say, Callum Newman wrestled Will Ospreay in Sheffield. And the match then later on set up Ospreay attacking Leon Slater, which led to the Ospreay-Leon Slater match at, I want to say, Epic Encounter 2023. And that match was United Empire's Will Ospreay versus United Empire's Callum Newman, like their young boy. And it was very much like a very respectable match between two friends where they didn't do anything too risque to hurt each other. And at the end of it, shook hands and Ospreay won because Ospreay's Ospreay and Callum Newman's not there yet. Mm-hmm. I thought that's what yesterday was going to be between Liam and Leon.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, and it was different, and just this whole kind of, we've got a plan. It was all just very intriguing, and I like intriguing. It's at no point in yesterday's show did I find myself kind of sitting there feeling like I was kind of going through the paces.
No,
like even for a couple of minutes of any match.
Yeah, I would say the whole show felt like it had a bit of pace about it. And that's not necessarily the pace of in ring. It just felt it had a pace. No way, like there was no fat on this show whatsoever at all yesterday. Everything was there for a reason, had its moment. I will say for most.
It felt a little bit like an AEW show.
Mm.
Like how AEW will have like match, something happens, match, something happens, match, something happens.
Yeah.
It felt a little bit like that, but everything was allowed to breathe as well.
Yeah. The last point I'll make on the main event angle, I just want to get Leon Slater is very much a heel, right? So he gave the "you people" promo, which obviously indicates being a heel.
Was he talking to us, mate? Was he talking to us as like everyone's kind of turned their back on him and suggesting that he's just because I wrestle for somebody else that I'm not going to be here wrestling for Rev Pro and I can't go after the title. I felt very much like we were being pointed at. Yeah, we were. So it was very much I see all your comments online. And look, there were a lot of people with comments going, and it was never against Leon. It was like, oh, fucking hell, the Fed's going to waste him and all that sort of stuff, right? But he's played into that insecurity that independent fans have, especially when WWE come to town. But he was playing it in a way of like, why can't you just be happy for me, right? Fuck you all, sort of thing. And so why would the Fed waste me? Like, are you suggesting that I'm not ready to just go in and be their next AJ Styles?
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was good. I didn't see this coming in a month of Sundays, right? And do you want me to tell you what this adds for me? It adds intrigue and jeopardy because, respectfully, if you're booking Jay versus Shah in Cardiff and Shah walks away with the belt, the wrong type of heat comes out of that, right? I
agree,
and it's not, and that's not, and that's not fair for anyone, right? In that situation, who do you see winning the match?
Well, what do we see the match being?
Well, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it is a triple threat from how it was coming across
Yeah.
on commentary. So on commentary, they were billing it as a triple threat. So that's what I'm going with right now.
Because my thought was we'll go triple threat, but I was like, but then Leon's got the trophy and he can just take Jay out of the equation. But you want Jay to be in that main event. That could be main event if Mercedes main events. Like you want that in Wales.
That could be a storyline beat there in itself, mate. That could be Leon could say that exact thing and go, well, actually, no, we've already booked. Like Jay's already got this word from Shah or something, and Jay has to beat Cameron Carr. Jay has to beat Liam Slater, something like that. That's not.
But this is there's so much with this, isn't there? Because by putting Leon in there as well as Jay, you could book Shah to win. Because you could book Shah to cheat to beat Leon and take Jay out of it completely. And although I still don't think that's the right move, and I don't think fans would like it, they could use it to just fully turn Shah heel and be like, good, we don't want you to like him. But there's one option. The other option is that you use Jay to subvert expectations. Everyone thinks Jay's going to win, but they crown Leon.
Yeah.
And then the other way is to do. I'm trying to think. Do you remember WrestleMania? I don't know which one. Chris Benoit versus Shawn Michaels versus Triple H
20
in the triple threat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And although it was a triple threat, you always had the kind of Chris Benoit was going to have to overcome both of these like legends to get his title.
Yeah.
And now you've got, Jay, for Jay to be crowned champion in Wales, he's got to beat both Shah Samuels and Leon Slater. You're just stacking the deck against him, given that everyone's going to be cheering for him. It's definitely more intriguing. I'm not yet sure if it. I was going to say I'm not yet sure if it's better than doing just Jay versus Shah straight one-on-one, but it is better because I know full well that I'd sit there in the crowd watching that match thinking I'm really enjoying this, but Jay's got to win.
Yeah.
And it not be just a case of I'm certain Jay is going to win, but it also be a case of God, I really hope that they don't have Shah win because of the heat that will come with it. Whereas this match, I'm like, I don't even know what that. They don't do triple threats often, so I was going to say, yeah. I don't really know what this looks like. And when I think of triple threats in Rev Pro, I think of RKJ versus Mills versus JJ Gow in the 229. Three quite similar wrestlers in the sense that they're all very different, obviously, but they're all kind of a similar stature and they're all got quite some, there's some similarities in strengths and weaknesses there. Obviously, RKJ's the strongest and Mills is the most technical and JJ's the quickest. But in this match, you'd have Leon, who is by far the quickest, by far the most explosive in terms of the aerials. Jay, who is by far the strongest, by far the most explosive in terms of how quickly his body can hit your body and how much that's going to take you out. Shah being the most technical and the most experienced and savvy and being like the all-rounder. It's a pretty cool triple threat that. Like there's styles clashes within it.
Yeah, it kind of in some ways, like you said, you got the kinds of triple threats where they're either similar, and Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Benoit, all very different wrestlers despite having some overlap. You had AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe. Again, three very different types of wrestlers despite having some overlap. Just going to say it is definitely confirmed because I'm just stuck on the Live in London wrap up, and Dave Bradshaw is saying triple threat for Cardiff. For
nice.
Now they're not. There's no graphics there. Andy's not like talking up, but he's just nodding along. So that seems to be.
But you know what? Like, I really bloody love the wrap up and the backstage reactions and the additional production that they've added in this year, because again, you're rewarded for your investment in the company.
Yeah.
Because they're telling us matches in these videos that long before match graphics go up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like a proper fan and you've got your notifications turned on for RevPro's YouTube channel, and you look forward to watching these little 10-minute, 15-minute, 20-minute videos, you're not just getting a bit of content, you're getting pretty vital content, because no one likes it when some people know stuff and other people don't know stuff. We all like being one of the first to know, don't we? So it's really, I'm really pleased that they're continuing to do that, and the idea that Dave Bradshaw's getting the scoops ahead as he gives them, and Andy's always being fished for spoilers and announcements.
So Andy has just said, so he's talking about the history of the title and said that it's going to be challenged for by 3 of the very best in wrestling.
Nice.
It said Leon Slater is going to be cashing in that trophy. We'd heard earlier in the night that Shah Samuels, what he got for winning the trios, I might just be going a bit awry there, the caption.
I wonder when the last time there was a triple threat for the Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship.
Sorry, when captions just don't make sense and they pick something up, right? Usually on this, so like when it picked up me saying Gabe Kidd is gay kid. Well, I think it's taking Shah Samuels and it says Shamu, who I believe Shamu is a big whale, wasn't it? Like, okay.
Poor Shah.
Poor Shah. But so that's going on there. I'm the same, but so I'm kind of, I hate to liken it to this match again, but Benoit, Jericho, Triple H. I remember watching that going, Benoit has to win it. He has to win it. And if he was against Triple H, I might have thought he was going to win it. And in similar, Bryan Danielson, Batista, Triple H at WrestleMania 30, right? They just kind of went, but he has to win it, right? Whereas if it's one-on-one, you probably get, but he is going to win it. He's likely going to win it. But that other person being inserted again, that person makes a lot of sense. So that's where the intrigue comes from. I think this match is a better match, both in ring and from intrigue perspective, with all 3.
Leon Slater has said it all year, hasn't he? By the end of 2025, I will be Undisputed British Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, it's like your Chekhov's gun. Like he introduced that phrase months and months and months ago. Yeah, and now on the penultimate show of the year, and let's face it, it's probably for most Rev Pro fans what they're going to consider the last show of the year.
They literally called it the last show of the year.
Yeah, you've got a Christmas show in Southampton, which I'm sure, because I used to go to the Christmas shows in St. Neots, they're always really good. I'm sure it's still going to be a really good canon show. But this is like the last. That's almost like the coffee that comes out after the dessert. So we've got the heavyweight title picture is firing right now. I'm so into it. Yeah. Where did the Cruiserweight Championship just absolutely pick up? Because obviously the match between Nino and Leon Cage yesterday was
sensational. Sensational.
And then afterwards you've introduced Lio Rush into it, and you're like, wow, there's 3 top cruiserweights there, all of whom could be champion. And that's before you even think about the fact that we've had really good stuff this year involving Will Caven and Chris Ridgway and other cruiserweights. But just those 3 there, that match was something special.
So, okay. There's more scoops on here. I've got. It's just got to the same match. Dave, are you watching my screen? It's literally just got to this match. So, I've been having this feeling. So when Lio Rush came out, I mean, we've been saying, right, Lio Rush. I want to see Lio Rush in Rev Pro. We know he's here till January time. I left this match kind of storyline feeling like there's a way this is going to play out. And I feel that Leo Rush is going to be a transitional champion between Nino Bryant and Leon Cage. Because I love that match. And the one thing that I know with Rev Pro is you don't get to all 3 matches between 2 guys in a year. Right? You just don't.
Mm-hmm.
We've had 2 of them already. Andy is not, I don't believe, is going to waste, I use that term, but that big moment of match number 3, I don't think that's going to come for a year or so. Right? I think that'll be a build up to down the line. And I think...
Do you think Leo versus Nino in Cardiff?
I think maybe not necessarily in Cardiff, but so this is kind of where I'm trying to make it all work. So I think Leo beats Nino, right? So Nino has had what a lot of people probably would say, like, he's really overachieved on this run as Cruiserweight champion.
Tremendous. Like, I'm so pleased with how it's gone.
The level of performance.
Real over-delivery.
Yeah, real over-delivery, real great level of performance. That I think having him lose to Leo Rush is actually just like a really top-end loss, right? Like, you're going up against a former WWE Cruiserweight champion, someone who's big out there in the wrestling world, right? So it doesn't harm him by losing it to there. You then have Leo go through with the title, eventually till you get the moment that he drops it to Leon Cage, which I think could be Uprising, or if they didn't do it there, Southampton maybe, but Uprising feels like the place to do it. Right, if you're gonna, if Leo, or depending on when Leo is here till in January, could it be the first Portchester Hall main event?
You think Leo is going to win the championship this month and lose it next month?
Yes, I think he's going to be a proper transitional champion.
He'd have to win it in Sheffield this Sunday,
or
Coventry in 2 Sundays' time.
So is that the 21st by any chance?
23rd, I think.
So, announced tonight, it's going to happen November the 21st. The Undisputed British Cruiserweight Championship will be on the line. It's going to be Nino Bryant going one-on-one with Leo Rush.
Oh!
So,
and that is in the same building that Nino Bryant wrestled Leo Rush in Nino Bryant's first ever Rev Pro match.
Wow. There you go.
Almost exactly... fact, that is ridiculous. If my dates are as reliable as I think they are, that is 53 weeks between those 2 matches. I think it was November 17th last year.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So
my missus will love getting to watch Leo Rush live.
Yeah. So there you go. And I think he wins the title. I think he wins it. That's not
and then loses it in Uprising to Leon.
The other thing is, because that's not going to hurt Leo Rush, right? It's not. Leo Rush is bulletproof.
Forevermore, Leo Rush will be able to call himself a former undisputed British Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah.
And we will always be able to talk about, look at the former Cruiserweight champions, look at, Prince Devitt, look at Leo Rush, look at Will Ospreay. No one ever looks at how long these people held the belt for.
No.
And Rev Pro haven't done a transitional champion in the 3, 4, 5. I can't even count how many years I've been going.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense as well.
But they did it a lot. They did it a lot pre-pandemic when they would pop it on an import for a couple of weeks and then take it off. They've had people win it one night and lose it the next night before.
And I think it could be done in a very different way because, like, you put on an import and it goes, oh. Right, so that import has to come back, generates more cash, right? Whereas now, Rev Pro's business model is more reliant on the imports topping up the great talent that we have here. So
Alan Angels opening a Rev Pro show yesterday.
Yeah.
To be followed by Alex Windsor, to be followed by the Good Brothers. That was match 1, 2, and 3. Like,
yes, exactly. And then Leo coming out later. So Look, here's the other route we could be going down, because what I really loved about the match, I've been saying about whiny Nino for a long time, right? That's not fair. Like, all of that sort of stuff. He was getting vicious and aggressive yesterday. And I like that.
I always thought you were a bit harsh on Nino.
No,
I wasn't getting as whiny a vibe as you.
No, so I'm talking solely in character.
I could see where you were coming from, but there was definitely a moment yesterday when Nino jarred the leg. Sorry, when Leon jarred the leg, and Nino had a moment, and he looked at the crowd, and he looked at Leon, and he made the decision. I'm going after the leg.
Yeah,
mate, that is. I get really frustrated because people go on about the word storytelling in wrestling all the time, and they say storytelling, and what they mean is
promos,
and big angles. And it's like, that is one type of storytelling, but there's also storytelling that's just being shown to us within the match.
Mate.
That's the storytelling I love. And the story they told yesterday was so incredible. I was watching it, and I knew that it was going in the top 10, probably about halfway into the match.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, so you're thinking, okay, 10th spot is Manders versus Mills from Revolution Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
That's out now because this match is going in. And then you're like, and then it just, then afterwards, I get in the car, drive home, and you look at the list and you're like, shit, that's gone. It went all the way up to 6.
Yeah.
So it sits just behind that Jay Joshua Trent 7 match that I've been barking on about for ages. Just incredible, mate. Leon Cage is an incredible talent. Genuinely unbelievable talent.
He's a prodigy. He understands everything.
But hiding there is just how good Nino Bryant is.
Yeah.
Because it takes 2 to tango.
Of course it does, yeah.
Nino is so innovative, and he is so just different to watch. One thing I really noticed yesterday, and I don't know when this happened, but the lads put on some size. It was in his shoulders that I could really see it yesterday. And you're like, these are all good steps. You know, you look at wrestlers that are of that similar kind of shape and build. Like, you look at someone like Dan Maloney, and you think, Dan Maloney at one point was a skinny teenager. And, I never saw him as a skinny teenager, but we were all skinny teenagers, or we were fat teenagers. We were one of the two. But he has developed and developed and developed. And now it doesn't matter that he's not 6 foot tall, because he is ripped to shreds and is on our TVs every single week in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
And if Leon and Nino can get the additional size, they don't need to be Dan Maloney. As you look at Leon Cage and you think like he's probably about the same height as Pac, but you don't need to have the muscles of Pac. But if you can get somewhere even like a 10th of the way towards them, people stop looking at you as a because at the moment they're both very young. Nino's actually a little bit older than we probably think of him as because of his younger brothers, but when they're 30, they're not going to have that young baby face, put them by the cheeks and ruffle their hair.
Yeah.
And that's where the size will make them feel like considerable threats. But it doesn't come at that age, does it? Look at Mills, look at JJ Gow, Mills and JJ Gow from a few years ago, nowhere near the size that they are now. So good to see that work's being put on. It is still a very visual business, isn't it?
It is, and look, Will Ospreay was the one I was thinking of when you were saying that. Like within the last, even within the last 3 years, right? Like he's gone to. I would say he's kind of still had a bit of that almost like youngster innocence in New Japan, moving into AEW, where it then felt very different. I was just while you were just saying that, I was having a look to see how many matches Leon has had since he's been back. That was his 7th match since that match in Portchester Hall in October. So he's been back a month, and he's just gone out and done that. And like you said, all credit to Nino as well, because like you said, it takes 2 to tango. Like you can't wrestle a match like that with one guy. Like both of those guys, did a fantastic job there. What I have found hilarious though is there is an Italian-based wrestler, also called Cameron Kai, but it spells it Khay.
Really?
That just tickled me. Cameron Kai, yeah, a different Cameron Kai.
Does he have a cage match profile?
No, he doesn't. That is the other thing I
Why the
noticed
hell
as
does our
well.
Cameron Kai not have a cage match profile?
But yeah,
Wrestled for an All Elite Wrestling belt and a New Japan Pro Wrestling belt, but still hasn't got a cage match.
no, I know. But yeah, 24 minutes they went on for as well, which I did not feel watching that they went on that long.
Didn't feel it.
Did not. It felt like a 15-minute.
I'm the first to criticise Rev Pro matches when they're a little bit long because it's like my one kind of. If I was going to pick one thing that I feel like doesn't quite work for me, brother, is the length of some of the matches, but some matches absolutely need it, and that was it. So, mate, like we've talked about all the main event stuff. We've talked about the incredible Cruiserweight Championship match. And you're like, oh, we must probably be wrapping it up in a minute. And then you're like, oh, shit, yeah, we should probably talk about the Cutthroat Collective.
Okay, so this
Like,
yeah,
so much going on this show.
I thought this was tremendously well done. So going into the match, me and the wife were talking, and we were like, who do you think is going to win? And I said, I think Nina's going to win, right? Because that subverts expectations again, right? But not in a way that doesn't make sense, right? Like, Nina's a great wrestler. I didn't see the angle happen where they kick her out at the end of it, which I thought was great. And I've seen criticism saying it made no sense to run that angle if you were going to have Nina win if you were going to run that angle anyway. I think it does because I think it does. I think that it just shows Sapphire is like no, like
I don't understand why. What's their argument for it not working?
I think the criticism is if you're going to have Sapphire attack, then have her attack off the basis and assume leadership. Have her do that on the basis of winning the leadership match, because
but that's also that's assuming that it was always her plan to do that, as opposed to she reacted to the fact that she lost the match.
Yeah, exactly, and I think there was a bit of both. I think that it was always supposed to be that, but like you said, she just happened to so the ending was always supposed to be what it was. She just happened to lose the match. So I always think there was this way of kicking Nina out of the Cutthroat Collective because I took it as Sapphire didn't like that someone was kind of asserting their dominance against her, right? It was, to me, I'm going to use another analogy here. It was Scar in The Lion King when Mufasa stands up to Scar and he doesn't like that. He's like, no, fuck it, off you go, like, attack, get the hyenas out, and what a hyena you had in Anita Vaughan. Like, again, we were discussing this a couple of months ago. That was something.
That was the single best thing that Anita Vaughan's done in her Rev Pro career so far.
It was
because she
fantastic.
Just suddenly, she's a tall woman, and in terms of like wrestling, she could be the heater for that group.
Mm-hmm.
And she just delivered a big old Batista bomb.
Yeah. And
suddenly you're like, oh my God, it's Batista to Triple H and to Randy Orton and to Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Like it worked really, really well. And I think it's the right move to do. There were times when I'd get a little bit wrapped up in the discourse and be like, yeah, Hyperactive, that would be quite cool in Rev Pro. But actually, I don't think Hyperactive in Rev Pro is the right fit. I do think that some people and some acts suit certain companies better than others.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to have variety. Like when the most interested I've been in Progress Wrestling was when Spike Trevay was their champion, because he wasn't in Rev Pro. And I'd see these vignettes that he was involved in and be like, ooh, he's cool. What's that? It's like the, I can't remember their names, the little buggers, is it? Alexis Falcon and Charles Crowley. Mm-hmm. I'd see their stuff on vignettes and be like, oh, I've got to watch this because they're always good crack. Like, they're great. Even though I'm not watching Progress Wrestling. But if they just came into Rev Pro and did all that, it would be like, well, how's Rev Pro and Progress different? Mm-hmm. And Hyperactive being this side of Anita and Sapphire that you see in other promotions is cool. It doesn't mean that you can't have Anita and Sapphire as the Cutthroat Collective in our promotion. Like, I like that. I do like that a lot. And I still think they need a fifth person. 5 looks better than 4. Optics.
Agree. 100% agree.
But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I didn't see it coming. Luna was standing in plain sight the entire show, which I love, because the last time I remember they did that, well, they did it with Zoe Lucas in the 229, but the time before they did that, it was Sapphire Reed that was hiding in plain sight the whole show.
Yeah.
Just sitting next to Merch the whole show until she had the moment where she ran and decked Danny Luna. Really, really enjoyed it. I like the fact that it wasn't like a loser leaves the Cutthroat Collective, because I don't know what's going on with, in terms of, you know, Nina Samuels is doing a lot of loser leaves company and that sort of thing, and you know, whether that's her bringing time to an incredible career or just taking, you know, whatever that is. If it's for good reasons, which I hope it is, and I hope it will be, then all the power to her. But selfishly, I want to see Nina Samuels in Rev Pro all the time, because she's absolutely class.
Yeah.
Again, I think I said it in her last match that she was in, that I thought it was her best one so far. I thought yesterday's was exceptional as well. I particularly enjoyed getting to see her work a little bit more babyface. She wasn't, you know, it was still heel versus heel, but there were shades of grey to it, and I liked that. She's just top class, mate. She's absolutely top class. Like,
yeah, she is.
And this could be the making of Sapphire. It really, really could.
Yeah, I think it's a tremendous
business for everybody.
A tremendous pivot on the Cutthroat Collective. Again, months ago, I said pull the trigger, turn. Like, everyone was convinced this was going to Hyperactive as a group, and look, like you hit the nail on the head there. Sometimes things work well in other companies. It does not work with how Sapphire has been presented in Rev Pro. It would make absolute fuck all sense for her to carry on attacking people and then have her just change up heart. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And in my mind, Hyperactive doesn't exist in Rev Pro, right? It just doesn't exist in the sense that it makes no sense in the world that she's best mates outside of Rev Pro, but then being that vicious to her. Like, it just doesn't. I think that's people trying to will something into existence, and they work very well together. Doesn't mean it just needs to be as Hyperactive it can be in this, guys, and I think they'll do superbly there. Dave, I'm just gonna give you another. So I've just had this exclusive match reveal who will be against one called Manders in Sheffield. So
cool. Oh no, I'm confused now.
Count with me, Dave.
10. Oh no, fuck off! It's not, is it? 9, 8, 7, 7, 7. Is it really Manders versus Trent 7?
It is really Manders versus Trent 7.
Oh fuck me, mate.
No, thank you, but
mate, that is so I did a post yesterday when I published the updated top 10. I said there's only 5 shows left, so it's going to be really, really hard to, one, get in the top 10, but also you can start to look at matches and you're like, well, unless Uprising is this ridiculous show where everything is a 5-star classic, there are certain matches where you're like, well, that's safe now, isn't it? You know, the top 5 are not going to go from the top 5 to not being in the top 10.
Yeah.
Trent 7 and Manders.
So
if I'm not watching that match thinking about it being a potential top 10 of the year, something's horribly gone wrong.
Yeah.
Because that is, I think, and it's, mate, that's so interesting as well, because I think Manders is at his best when he's fighting from underneath the broken down cowboy. And Trent is at his best when he's fighting from underneath. The broken down, like veteran. So
Yeah.
who is you could? I imagine Manders is going over. The only thing I hope. And I will trust the process and I will trust Rev Pro. Please don't promise me Manders versus Trent 7 and then have Sunshine Machine come and fuck it up.
Oh, Dave, why did you say that?
Like, they can do stuff after the match, I don't care, but give me 15 minutes of Manders versus Trent 7 and a clean finish, please. Like,
yeah,
this is what I'm asking for you for Christmas, please, Andy Quilden. Because that is, I mean, literally picking two of my favourite wrestlers in the world and putting them in a ring together.
I didn't even think of that. And look, I have to confess that I know that you're probably going to go and watch that YouTube show. So I was like, I try to keep spoilers to a minimum. But when I saw that, I was like, for posterity, I need to capture your reaction to that.
Oh, mate, yeah.
So when
you were doing the countdown, I thought you were going to 5 and you were going to say it was Alan Angels. And you were going to be like 5, Dark Order, and then maybe do the Dark Order. But I was like, I'm with you. But then when you stopped on, and I couldn't even see how many fingers it was, but when you stopped on 2 hands, it was like, oh. And then,
yeah.
Oh, mate, so excited for that. So excited. That card is looking quality already. Like,
and I completely forgot. Not only is Leo Rush going to be in Coventry, Irie is going to be in.
Irie is going to be in Sheffield.
Coventry. It's Coventry.
Coventry.
Yeah, he's corrected himself. So he's being Coventry.
Okay. And then we've got RKJ versus Leighton Buzzard this month in Sheffield this week. Sorry, which again, like when that match got announced, it was a bit like, oh, okay, RKJ versus JJ again. That's cool. Yeah. Why not? Like rivals have to wrestle. Mm-hmm. And then the way they extended the Francisco and JJ story, and they brought us back to the RKJ and Leighton Buzzard story, and they had like a really banging match. It was just really good, like interwoven storytelling and booking where, all the overlaps. Yeah. I loved it, mate. I absolutely loved it.
I think this is where you and I will disagree slightly. I did think the match was that great. I thought it was very paint by numbers by both guys.
I didn't like the finish. If I'm honest, I didn't like the finish at all. And Ricky kind of lent into he did the Muscle Buster and he was going to go for the Randy Orton punt, and it was a little bit of the stuff that I don't like him doing as much. I like it when he focuses on the Kishi driver and him and his game and his identity, rather than, obviously all wrestlers use moves. Very few people are being innovative and making up their own moves in 2025. So you are borrowing, but when you borrow from such obvious places, it gets a negative reaction because you get that create a wrestler thrown at Ricky.
And look, I'll be honest, I felt that from both guys yesterday.
What I did like about it was, do you remember we were critical of their match at Epic Encounter because we said that match should have been hot from the start, and they kind of approached it differently when the story demanded it. Yesterday we got the hot from the start, but then it sizzled out. So in terms of like the actual contest, like being completely fair and objective, I thought it was because you also had the very short Alex Windsor Mercedes Blaze match, which I liked the fact that was a short match because you don't want to burn out in the first half, and you knew that Leon and Liam was going to go a little bit longer, and Jay and Alan Angels had gone a little bit longer, so I felt like that was well balanced. There was, anyone that's like, oh, it was a women's match in the second match on the card and it only went 6 minutes. And it's like, yeah, but it's part of a much bigger women's storyline that is coming back to in the second half. So there was no fear of that criticism in my head. So that match was fine because that was all it needed to be. It did the job it needed to do. I felt like the Ricky and JJ match was fine, but it probably should have been better. Like it had enough time to be better. there's enough shared history for it to be better. But I liked what came out of it. I look forward to seeing El Capitan back on Sunday, and I'm curious with the JJ Gale, David Francisco stuff.
Yeah, I think JJ Gale and David Francisco gets us to Cardiff. I think that match happens in Cardiff. And look, I think they've
I have it in my head that JJ's not here for Cardiff.
Oh shit, no, he's not, is he?
When does he go to Japan?
That's a good point. Let's have a look. That's a very good point, Dave. Is he back from Japan in time for...
I can't remember who he's wrestling. Is he wrestling for 0-1?
I think he is. Yeah, let's have a look. Just getting it loaded now. Because I remember him putting the graphic out going, he hasn't got Cardiff on there. Yeah, now that you're saying it. Right, where is it? Where are you, JJ? Where are you? Here you are.
It really made me smile seeing that he's getting to go out to Japan, because I remember the first time I interviewed him, which was over 2 years ago. Callum Newman had just been booked for his first tour of Japan, and we talked about the fact that Callum was going out to Japan and how much he wanted to follow and get the opportunity to do the same. And he was very, confident. He's a confident lad, but he was confident that his chance will come. He keeps doing the right things in England, keeps doing the right things in Rev Pro. It is inevitable that an opportunity in Japan will come up. And he's probably had to be a little bit more patient than he thought when he said that over 2 years ago. So it really made me smile to see that. It was the same with Ricky getting to go out to Japan for the N1 tournament.
So
good things for good people.
All it says is December. So yeah, he's not going to be here for Cardiff.
I wonder if he'll be here for the Southampton show, though,
because that's what I was just wondering. Because that I
quite like, again, the subversion of expectations. Seasons Beatings sounds like a fun show. No disrespect intended to anybody at all, but it sounds like the tagline of a right cabaret show.
Yeah,
something like that. Where it's got like a catchy title and
I've always felt that. Yeah,
real buffet of things. I'd love the idea of them being like Seasons Beatings, it's Christmas, it's Southampton, it's David Francisco versus JJ Gale in a street fight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Something like that, where it's like, oh shit, maybe I can get myself down to Southampton on 2 days after Boxing Day, or they just, I had to change my way of thinking. Red Pro's taught me to kind of wire my brain from a WWE perspective and even more so an AEW perspective, actually. The big pay-per-view, or in our case, the bigger venue show doesn't have to be the end of every storyline.
Yes, you're right.
AEW was the perfect one where it was like, the show's in 3 weeks, but I don't know what the card's going to be because they haven't announced it. But everyone would be like, well, obviously they're going to pay off all these stories they've been building for the last 3 months, especially when they do more shows, I believe, now. But when I used to watch AEW, it was 4 events a year. Revolution, Double or Nothing, Full Gear, and All Out. So now it's like with Rev Pro, they can't. I mean, unless they go to a ridiculous model that I would hate of having more than 8 matches. I know they do 9 and they've done 10 before. 8 for me is my maximum of how many matches I want to see on a show.
Yeah.
Unless they do something crazy and be like, we're going to put 12 matches on in Cardiff, which I just don't believe they will.
Yeah.
There are going to be stories that roll into 2026.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely fine.
I don't know why I'm calling this to be a 7-match card in Cardiff. That's what I think. 7-match card. Yeah, I think we're going to have a couple of matches that just get some time.
I'm going to go the other way and say it's a 9-match card.
Interesting.
And I hope that we're both wrong and it's 8. Although, if one of us is right and the other one's wrong, I'd much rather your 7-match than a 9-match.
Yeah, and look,
I just feel when you do 9, something suffers.
Yeah, with JJ and David, I think they could main event a Southampton show, and I think you get the reaction out that you want now as well.
Yeah.
But I do feel that they probably have earned that match on like an opener for an uprising or something like that. I really do feel
Well,
that they've earned it.
you open with like a hot little banger,
Yeah,
and then you have this go on second or third to just change the pace.
yeah, yeah.
Robbie X and Spike Trevay had a street fight 2024 uprising. 2023 uprising. And that went on like that. If I remember correct, it was Zack Sabre Jr. and JJ Gal that opened the show. So you've got like, fuck, it's Zack Sabre Jr. like in the opening match. Had a really good match with JJ, and then it was thumbtacks and violence and Spike Trevay and Robbie X, and it was very, very different from Rev Pro. So they could absolutely do something like that. And maybe there's an argument to say that would be, if they did a violent street fight, that might be a good thing to do on Uprising, because you've got to imagine there'll be lots of AEW fans there.
Yeah.
And obviously AEW do a lot of stipulation matches, lots of lights out, street fights, whatever they give them all sorts of names.
Yeah.
That could work. Personally, I think those sorts of matches always work better in smaller venues.
Yeah, same.
At least Rev Pro do them better in smaller venues is probably what I'd say. But I trust the process, and at the end of the day, as we always say, it's not our money, and it's not our family income that rides or dies on how many tickets they sell. So
yeah, exactly. Either way,
we'll enjoy it either way. I know we will.
Yeah, we will do, mate. I'm looking forward to Cardiff. It's going to be a fun old weekend of wrestling for me, that one, I think. So,
are you going to AEW the night before?
I am, mate. I am front row, right in the centre.
Are you really? Wow.
Yeah. I decided.
Are you doing any of the Welsh shows that are on?
No, I'm not, because part of me was.
A couple of them clash, clashes with AEW. And Attack clashes with Rev Pro, but then there's a couple of other shows running.
And I thought there was an Attack show the day of AEW as well. I could be wrong.
You're right. Yeah, because it's their Missile Tour weekend, isn't it? So they run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I
was really tempted to go. Like, if it was there on the Friday, or I was staying over on the Friday, I would have probably gone, because I'm just looking it up now. Attack Wrestling. Let's have a look. Because they did have some stuff where I was like, this looks good, and why can't I find Attack Pro Wrestling at all?
Is it because are you on Cage Match?
No, I'm on Twitter. I think I found it now. It's Attack with an exclamation mark. That's why.
Yes, I was going to say on Cage Match, I think you have to include the exclamation mark.
So let's have a little look what they've got. And what I like the look of is they've put out their 2026 dates. And one of the biggest, so they've got a place called the Loco Club in Bristol. So Bristol's quite easy for me to get to. Always end up being clashing with the first Sunday in the month for Rev Pro. So it was a choice. Whereas now it looks like they're doing 3 shows across the year there. None of them clash with Rev Pro based on what we've currently got. So I'm gonna try and get to one of those. They've got on the one on the 12th, Nino Bryant has been announced for that. That's really good to see. Oh yeah, they put out a little graphic. If you're heading to AEW, don't miss an absolutely stacked lineup. And they've got what date? So 11 a.m. Attack Pro Wrestling on the Saturday. Oh, could I get through early enough for that? Oh, that's tempting.
Well, a nice one, isn't it? Because you could do Attack at 11 o'clock, still have time to go and get a decent bit of grub, and feel like you've had a break, and then go to your Collision taping. Yeah,
that's tempting. That go and get checked into the hotel. That is tempting. Let's have. I think Dave. I think we might have just sealed it, mate.
You know what? I'm going to be in Cardiff on the Saturday.
Right. I'm going to
be in Cardiff with no intention of going to AEW. But I'm going to be in Cardiff, so my brother-in-law lives in Cardiff.
Yeah.
And it's a long journey from my house to Cardiff. which is fine. But this is how much of a mark I am. I want to really enjoy the Rev Pro show. I don't want to be sitting there a bit tired.
Yeah.
Because I've had a really long drive. So I figured I'd just drive down Saturday afternoon, maybe grab some dinner with my brother-in-law, and then go to skip in his spare room, have breakfast with him on Sunday, and then come to watch Rev Pro. Maybe he's been to one wrestling show before at Arena Mexico.
Oh yeah, okay.
Where he brought me home the lucha mask. This is the same brother-in-law that ended up on holiday with Josh James, and Josh James chokeslammed him into the swimming pool.
Yeah. Okay.
I might suggest to him, do you fancy nipping down and we'll go and watch the Pro Wrestling Chaos show?
I'm really tempted by this. I'm just going to show you the match. A match that's just grabbed my attention. So for this show, 11 a.m., 11:30 start time. Jay Joshua versus Kanji.
They had the match at Resurgence, right? That everyone's been like telling me, like, you have to go and watch this match. You have to go and watch this match. I know you don't watch stuff outside of Rev Pro. You have to go and watch this match. I do watch stuff outside of Rev Pro. I should clarify that. And I don't watch old matches.
Yeah.
I don't just go into a promotion that I know nothing about and watch a match, even if I'm told it's good. Like, even with the going to film the Spinebuster stuff, I watched bits and pieces of Spinebuster Underground. But I was like, well, I'm going to go. I'm going to spend the whole day there. I want to know everything that's happening. So I binge watched Spinebuster Media last week, Spinebuster TV, so that when I went, I knew all the storylines that everyone was going through. So when they were having their matches, I could be like, yeah, that worked really well because you did this in that match 3 weeks ago. And that's just how my brain works. It would be like you telling me, like, you should watch this really good episode of Line of Duty, but I don't know. I didn't watch the first 2 seasons.
Did you say you're going? Did you say you're going down on the Saturday, or are you going on the Friday night? Sorry, did you say?
I'm going on the. My plan is to go on the. No, I'll be at work on the Friday. To go on the Saturday.
Got you.
Is Chaos Saturday evening?
Chaos is Saturday evening. Yeah, so that was Attack in the morning. Chaos is in the evening. I'm just having a look now. So
I wouldn't be able to get to Chaos because I wouldn't be able to get to Attack because to get there for 11 a.m. I'd have to leave my house at like.
Got you. Yeah.
Like 6 a.m. or something like that, and that's probably a bit much.
The reason I was just having, so I think I'm going to try and get an early enough train to get through that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get through early enough to go and drop my stuff off at my hotel and then go and make that. I think the other matches announced on the Missile Tour for the Friday, like genuinely, I'm gutted I can't make it. Danny Luna versus Nixon Newell. Leo Rush versus Leon Cage.
Is that Attack?
That's Attack. Yeah, that's the Friday. 2 matches on the Friday.
In the morning. Oh, that's on the Friday.
No, that's on the Friday. Yeah, I'm just seeing now if I can find the Chaos. I'm just having a look for Pro Wrestling Chaos. That one's easy to find because they follow me on Twitter. Chaos. Where are they? There they are. Let's see if they've got anything announced. Chaos. They're a really good company to go and watch as well, mate. Like, really, really nice.
The thing is, it's like, I like showing support for all of the people involved.
Yeah. They don't appear to have anything announced yet, but
that's fine. I trust that whatever they put on will be highly entertaining, given the caliber of people that they've got available to them.
What's really funny is there's they've got a video up on their YouTube channel at the moment, which very, very, very familiar. Very familiar there, Mr. Leighton Buzzard sitting on his gym gear there as well. He's clearly getting himself back and getting in contention, but that in itself, he's going up against Nico Angelo. So yeah,
nice. Where's he wrestling, Nico?
That's in Chaos in November. That's at the John Cabot Academy, which I think is the school venue that I went to, which in itself is a weird one. But yeah, Chaos. I've been to 2 Chaos shows. I've enjoyed myself both times going to see them. It's a nice, like, price versus expectation. Like you get usually about 5 matches. This one's got 5 matches announced for it as well. So like you usually get a couple.
That'd be the perfect thing to take my brother-in-law to, though, because it's quite a lot to ask someone that doesn't really watch wrestling to go and watch 8 matches.
Yeah, it is.
But
So
to go and watch like 5 matches, get a bit of variety, get the whole show day experience.
yeah,
Then take him for like, go and get a burger or something afterwards. That sounds like a pretty good evening to me.
yeah, I'm looking forward to my time in Cardiff. I'm going to be, if I make that, I'm going to try and make that show, get to my hotel, and then I think I'm going to head back for that barbecue place again, mate. Like, it lives.
That was good. I liked it there.
Lives in my
Do you
dreams.
remember its
that
name?
place.
We'll give it a quick plug.
It's something Smokehouse, isn't it? Yeah,
It is something Smokehouse.
Funny
Pretty
that.
much opposite. It's opposite the Utilita Arena, isn't it?
It is called the Smokehouse. Haus. The Smokehouse.
Oh, there you go. It was class. We had a great meal there.
Yeah, just a massive thank you to Kaz Cadnam for giving us that recommendation. I don't know if she gave it to you, she gave it to me, and she was like, "Go here," and I think we ended up there anyway. And then I was like, I saw the messages she sent. I was like, "Oh yeah, we went there. That was a good place." So
thank you very much, Kaz. Appreciate it.
yeah, I'm right opposite the venue as well. Like, could not have asked for more. Anyway, before
we escorted Don Callis.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Still,
Henchman.
the funniest thing ever when he's walking down, asks us if he can stop so he can pet a dog. Like he literally said to us, "Would you mind waiting for me?" Then went to pet someone's dog, and then chatting to us, turned into heel Don Callis, and then straight back out of it. It was beautiful. It was
second somebody turned up and asked him for a photo, and he just turned it on, shut them down really quickly, and then came back to just chatting to us like a perfectly lovely fella.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
It was
so
wonderful.
When's your next Rev Pro show, bro? Is it Uprising?
My next Rev Pro is Uprising. Yeah. So I was.
Wow, we are so close to the end of the year.
I was really tempted by this weekend, but it's just the cost, and we're at the. Well, I say it's the cost. It's not even the cost. There is cost involved, obviously. But like for me to make a Rev Pro show, I think I've said this before I even include food or drink or anything to the equation, it's about 50 quid a London show for me minimum. There's also the time of year it's getting to now. It gets dark. Not that that's an issue. It just dark makes me feel tired, sleepy, cozy. I just want to be at home.
I thoroughly enjoyed watching Live in Leon on.
Yeah.
Me and the girls sat on Mrs. Knives double bed, and we had it on the big projector on the black screen where like we filmed the Phoebe predictions, and like we had a bowl of snacks each, and it was like, this is lovely. Like
I didn't feel any.
There was a part of me that was genuinely like, I should do this more often.
Yeah.
And then I snapped out of it and was like, no, I like going to all the Rev Pro shows.
Yeah.
But it makes me feel cool that like this year I was like, I want to get at some point to the shows in other countries. I'm quite happy to say that I probably won't ever go to a show in another country for Rev Pro. And because as long as I can watch it live, I'm more than happy. That's a great compromise.
Yeah, so like I didn't have that, and also I'm going to Eve this week as well, which I'm really looking forward to. So I've got a couple of busy.
Willow Nightingale versus Lucy Sky, is it?
Yeah, Chris Statlander, you and Anita Vaughan as well in a match.
Nice.
Rio versus Nyla Rose. So they're your three big AEW women's matches. I think we've got what's her name, Melissa Fierce versus.
Yep, heard very good things about her.
Alexis Falcon, mate, she is fantastic. She is so good. Like the first I ever saw her, like she was great. Sapphire Reed versus Danny Moe, I think it is. Yeah, Danny Moe. Don't know anything about her at all, but she's being put in a graphic match up on the Twitter page, so must be someone of name that's just slipped by me. I'm trying a fucking, what's it called? Not cubicle, pod hotel thing. It is basically like a morgue, mate. Right? You've got just these little cabins that are stacked on top of each other.
In Leicester Square?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I see this on my Instagram all the time. It's like the London's cheapest hotel.
Pod hotel, yeah.
And because I remember looking at it and I showed my missus and I was like, I'd love that.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, I couldn't do that because she's claustrophobic. but I don't like small spaces in terms of I couldn't go caving, but I do. If me and the missus, if God forbid, something happened so that the missus and the kids weren't on the scene and it was just me, I'd sell this house and get myself a little studio apartment and just live in that, because I love the little everything tight. And when I sleep on my own, I've got a double bed and I lay up against, when I stay in a hotel, I'll lay up against the wall, on one side. You can fit another couple of people in beside me, because it's I just like the kind of feeling all wrapped up, and I'd love that little hotel.
I get you. Well, I've got that. That was Jamie that recommended that to me. Because
he stayed in it after an Eve show before a Rev Pro show.
Did. Yeah, he did.
He was telling me about it. Yes.
So I'm going to try that, because I'm hoping that I get on well with that. I've got the date booked off for the next Eve show, but Friday nights in London, hotel prices are insane. So it's kind of like, if I can make this work, then I'll do them. If not, it might be a couple of times a year. But announced for that one is next month, Emi Sakura versus Rain Leverkusen. So nice. That's one. Well, famously, one of my second ever Rev Pro show, Emi Sakura versus Bobby Tyler in the 1865. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, what a time. Anyway, Dave, I'm getting hungry, mate. I think this is a good time to wrap it up. A fantastic show.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it, mate. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and a good time for Rev Pro right now, I feel.
Also, one final plug. If you especially like My Chemical Romance, go and buy the new Medusa Complex shirt. Banger of a shirt.
I just bought that.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I bought it. Absolute, it's 3 cheers for Sweet Revenge. My Chemical Romance-esque recreation. Love it, because it means I've got something that's My Chemical Romance related that I can wear to the gig next year, but it's still wrestling related as well. So nice little thing there. But I believe that it said that all of the money, all of the profits are going towards Million recovery. So please go and support that if you can. Right, Dave. I'll catch you next time, bro.
Cheers, brother.
See you later. Bye.